Part 8 of Black Rose, Discovering of the Silver Eyes. So, we left off in pretty much our previous part 7, to where John had gotten kidnapped, and taken him back to the cave. I also got a good thumbnail for the cave, so hopefully you like that. This is the cave where they will be staying. Now, John has been set down near some crystals. Grim wolves are all through the cave. Ruby's mother is, of course, asleep on the other side. The ice grim wolf is just towering on one of the taller little rail parts above the cave. This cave also used to be a mine, believe it or not. I forgot to mention that. It was used to extract dust before supposedly being taken over by some Grim. But Ruby and her family, when they moved into this, did not find any Grim within the cave system, which was thinked odd. But this is the location of where Ruby and John is. Now we go to John, who is just now waking up after... Y'all know if you watched the previous part of this. Not to be rude or anything, but it was a pretty funny special episode. After his head got hit on several rocks or something, if I remember. As he starts coming around, oh, my head. As Ruby is standing right in front of him. Hello. As he's like, oh, who are you? I am Black Rose. Black Rose? Yes, and I would like you to answer some questions for me. As he looks around and sees the Grim. As Eclipse is just, which is the half white, half black Grim Wolf, is just standing above looking down. Like, he's really in one of the higher parts of the cave just watching their conversation. I want you to tell me about Silver Eyes. Silver Eyes? Yes. I know nothing. As then, the ice brick just falls over after one of the Grim Wolves pushed it. It hits the ground. Listen, I don't know nothing about the Silver Eyes. As several Grim Wolves start to get closer, you might want to tell me, because I'm afraid I don't have any more chew toys for my siblings here, and my big family. Referring to the Grim Wolves. Okay, I may know something. I overheard someone talking about someone that had silver eyes somewhere, alright? And who would that person be? It was Ozpin and Crow? How did you hear this information? Listen. Okay, I was overhearing and I heard Ozpin in the hallway, and I might have did some listening in. Just a little bit. I heard something about a person that had silver eyes somewhere. Really now? You're not lying to me, are you? No. I don't think I have the risk of lying around here right now. As we do a full circle around him, and there's like a lot of Grim Wolves surrounding him. Not his best interest to lie. Alright. As then Shadow just grabs the ice before tossing it towards the other side of the cave, hits the wall, shatters as he falls to the ground. And as soon as he falls to the ground, his weapons get confiscated by, well, the White Grim Wolf. You're going to lead me to this person. As he starts to freeze because he's in a cold cave. Man, it got colder ever since, well, the Frost Wolf, Frost, if I remember. No, it was Freeze. Join the pack. Alright, I suppose, but could we possibly get a fire going? It's pretty hot in here. Or wait, cold in here. She snaps her fingers and a few Grim Wolves bring up some fire, or bringing up some wood to make a fire. As they light the fire. As John sits down, putting his hands to the fire, and as he looks over and sees that his weapons are being guarded by some Grim Wolves. as Ruby just sits on a broken barrel and just looks at John. You realize I'm gonna have you take me to the person that has silver eyes, right? Listen, I don't know the exact location. So, could you let me go? Like, guarantee you get Crow, you could, As then there's a scythe to his throat. You're going to lead me to the person with silver eyes. Unless you'd rather have your head decapitated from your shoulders. No, 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 nope, 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 nope. Okay, just let me recall where it's at and all that, and I'll take you to, the person. Good. As a whole bunch of Grimwolves start running in. What's the commotion about this time? As she puts away Crescent Rose and starts walking towards the Grimwolves, as a lot of them are howling. As John looks over, but he wants to move, but he notices Eclipse is staring down at him. So he decides to stay there and just heat up near the fire. What's the commotion about? In terms of, like, Grimm speech, I'm just gonna translate real quick. Basically what they're communicating with Ruby, as she can understand them. There seems to have been a large explosion within deeper in the cave systems. What did you do? Did you happen to knock over some explosives or something? Like, what? They started to explain about something caused a chain reaction with the dust, and it started to explode in the lower parts of the cave. Alright, just evacuate that area for now. We're all moving here shortly, so you don't have to worry about staying here much longer. Do I make myself clear? As all the Grimm agree. As we see Frost, who's just going through, like, tops of bridges, of ice bridges, just walking around. As Ruby's mother then suddenly stands up before walking towards the exit. What is my family doing today? I can't tell what they're up to. As then, Ruby goes and moves the curtain to her room, before then getting a huge sense of pain before falling to the ground. As her body gets more covered with the Grimm, as now about the entirety of her stomach has been covered and is slowly moving, well, through her body. As it stops, just a few minutes later. What's happening? As she starts to look and sees that part of her body is turning to Grimm at the moment, as it spread. What is happening? This keeps getting worse and worse. As she's sitting down, should I tell the others about this? No need. What should I do? I don't have time for just to sit by all the time like this. We're gonna need to deal with the White Fang. They're just gonna keep getting in my way. And Salem. I'm going to have to do something about Salem. As we go now back to John, who is currently tiptoeing, trying to get away. As he walks down one of the caverns, as he's going for basically a run and all that, see if he can get away. As he turns a corner and just bumps into somebody and just falls on his butt. My head. As he hit his head when falling. As he looks back up and he sees Eclipse. Okay, listen. As he then gets just tapped on the head by the Grimwolf, as he just passes out. As he just snores. As then, Eclipse just grabs his leg and just starts dragging him back. As then, he basically communicates with the Grimm to set something up. As we go to Ruby's mother outside. As she's looking through. as she noticed several Grimm heading towards them. As she then gives out a huge howl that informs all the Grimm wolves in the cave. As Ruby also hears this, as she moves her curtains to basically her room where she was staying for the time. What's happening? As she notices a lot of Grimm wolves are heading towards the exit. As she makes her way towards the exit, she stops and just sees John hanging from a hammock over a fire. You know, I'm not going to question that right now. And she just runs towards the exit. As we see a bunch of, Grimm. A variety of Grimm just heading their way. I guess we better do some clearing out. As she then grabs her own horn that she pulled out of her bag and just blows it to inform all the Grimm wolves to attack. As then a big brawl would come out of just several Grimm wolves as she would hop off the ledge of, the cliff and just get on one of the crow's backs, severing its head and just constantly jumping onto one and another of those crow Grimms, flying Grimms, and just taking them out. As several wolf Grimm have to team up to take out all these other Grimms, Ruby's mother is just killing all these smaller Grimms by stepping on them, and is fighting a really large mammoth Grimm that was in the area. As she pulls out Crescent Rose, after just taking down 5 crow Grimm, and just fires it at the mammoth one, hitting it its side, before jumping off and making it into a scythe, and then just slowly starts cutting into its side, going down, as 2 more crow Grimm come towards Ruby, while she's sliding down the Grimm mammoth. As she simply just does a backflip with Crescent Rose, decapitates one Grimm, and then shoots the other out of the sky. As she's now falling towards the ground, she uses her semblance to turn into rose petals and lands on the white Grimm's back, her sister's back, essentially, as they ride off and just go on tearing Grimm apart. As we see Shadow popping out of shadows, just tearing other Grimm to pieces. And this, we would see Frost come out from the top of the cave, as then he would breathe as there was a few Grimm at the top, as he would just freeze the Grimm, as they're Grimm ice sculptures, pretty much, before just walking back inside. As Ruby would just jump off and just constantly rotate from her, basically from Grimm wolves, attacking the Grimm attacking. Basically attacking the other Grimm that were attacking them. This goes on for about 2 hours. And we go back to John, who is waking up. He stretches. Why do I smell chicken? As he looks down, as the hammock he was on is now on fire. As he jumps off the hammock, as his pants caught on fire, as he's now on the ground trying to put out the fire. Why does this always happen? As he gets up, he's just glad he managed to get the fire out before it burned his pants. As he looks around and notices that there's not really any Grimm wolves, so he thinks, okay, time to leave. As he goes towards his weapons, but sees that someone's still here, Eclipse. I'm not going anywhere, aren't I? As the Grimm just shakes its head. As John decides to sit down and wait. As they wait for another 2 hours before all the Grimm were finished. As we see several injured Grimm wolves come inside. Ruby, who has a scratch on her shoulder, scratch on her torso, scratch on her lower leg. And several of her siblings and family of Grimm wolves were injured, as they decide to spend a few days here to recover. As Ruby sits down, as she grabs some bandages, and starts healing her or wrapping her wounds up. As she keeps looking around after wrapping her wounds up that she got from the fight. Why did I have to get injured? I let myself get careless after an hour of fighting or so. But why did so many Grimm come out of nowhere? Doesn't make any sense. And this is where Salem comes aware of Ruby. As we go to Salem, who just got like a huge amount of Grimm just got like wiped off. So this alerts Salem, sensing a huge amount of Grimm being technically destroyed by Ruby and the Grimwolves, as she senses it. So someone else is controlling Grimm. As she finally notices the connection that the Grimwolves have, she's lost the connection with them. Well, that's going to be a problem I'm going to need to discover. As now we see Cinder, who comes in with basically the Grimm arm, and all that. As, of course, there's this meeting table. And she decides to send the Scorpion fellow, which I will have his name by the next part, to find whoever is controlling the Wolfgrim. As he gladly takes on the task. Of course, Salem, I'll gladly get rid of them. This guy loves chaos. As he immediately makes his way out. And we go back to Ruby, who is basically just wondering what the next move is here, because she knows she can't really get everyone out of here because, well, several of them are injured. It's going to take a few days for them to recover. As she looks over at John. You know what, John? As he calls John's name. I don't think I introduced myself, so how do you know my name? As she just, like, it was on your uniform. As he looks at the back and his name's on that. Oh, okay. I need you to do something. Anything that gets me away from them. As he points towards the Grimm. Oh, you're not going anywhere. But I do need you to do a task for me. And what would that be? My Grimwolves will be watching you from the outskirts of a village nearby. I want you to grab medicine. As her wounds start to, well, before they become infected. Okay. And don't think about running off or informing anyone. Because they will be your escort. As Eclipse and a few other Grimwolves are like, there. Okay, listen. Can I at least have my sword? As Ruby just glares at him. No sword. As he just slowly makes his way out of the cave as he makes it out, at least I get to walk there. As Eclipse grabs this man by the collar and tosses him on his back before riding off towards the village. As Ruby looks out before Shadow and the White Grimm comes towards her. Listen, I have a very important task. Freeze, as the big, Ice Grimwolf hops down from its position and walks towards Ruby. I have a task for you. As it nods, Shadow, you will also be on this task. I will join you later, but I want you to destroy the White Fang. As they both nod in agreement before leaving. There, that should cover up most of our problems for the time being. As Ruby decides to lay down. Now, that is the end of part 8. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe for more.